Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So CraftDee. For today's DIY projects, we will be making some modern style home decor pieces using supplies from the Dollar Tree and 98-cent wood crafting sticks. Now, I received so many requests for decor pieces that would be great for a guy's space or a man cave or really any space with a modern industrial type feel. Now, I think that these would be the perfect neutrals for that type of decor. Now, as always, all of the projects I create have a complete supply list in the description box so you can easily use it for reference as you gather your supplies. Now, before we start, I have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you're a new visitor to my channel today, I do hope you consider subscribing as well and stick around to enjoy these crafts and all the ways to see how you could style these in your space. So now let's just jump right into the projects. Now, this project is a set of modern style planters. Now, I'm going to be using 2 of these tall gift boxes from the Dollar Tree from Christmas. And I'm also going to use some Quart craft sticks from Lowe's for 98 cents. Now, I'm going to start off with the taller gift box, and what I want to do is just cut off that ledge where the lid goes, and I'm just going to go around it, scoring it a couple times with my utility knife, and it should come off really easy. Now, for the second box, I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and I want to divide this into 2 gift boxes. So what I want to do is kind of measure up and see how tall I want my medium box, and I went with about 7.5 inches. So I'm marking 7.5 inches up from the bottom of the box all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is take some painter's tape, and I'm just going to use this to kind of mark the cut line all the way around the box, and then just cut off the excess. Now, the top half of the box will be the 3rd smallest box, so I'm going to have to secure the lid on for the bottom of the box. Now, I am going to be using some hot glue for this, so you just want to spread some hot glue around that little top section. You don't need to use quite as much as I did, but I just wanted the lid to be really secure. Now, you just want to carefully slide the lid on and quickly remove any of the hot glue that oozes out of that seam. Now, once everything is nice and smoothed out, you can go ahead and just grab your utility knife, and we're going to go along that 7.5 inch mark that we made earlier, going ahead and cutting that second part of the box off. And now that that's separated, you have 3 different boxes to use for your vase style decor. So now what I'm going to do is take it out and give it 1 coat of the Zinsser 123 primer, just to kind of disguise the little pattern on the box. Now, here is that primer dry after 30 minutes, and it's good to go. So now we're going to go with our finishing coat, and I'm going to follow up with this flat black spray paint by Krylon, and I'm going to put on about 2 coats. Now, once that dries, here are what all 3 boxes look like. Now, these actually look really great as they are, and you can actually style this just like this. Now, what I decided to do was actually trim them out. So what I did was I took some of those Lowe's craft sticks and I went ahead and stained them beforehand, and I used some early American stain. Now, what I'm going to be doing with the sticks is decorating around the outside of the boxes to give them a unique accent. So for the tallest box, I'm going to take 4 craft sticks, and I just want to lay them out, just making sure they're spaced pretty even in between throughout the middle, and then taking my pencil and marking where I want each one of those craft sticks to fall on the box. Now, these pencil marks will indicate the marks that will be transferred all the way around the box, so we'll know that each stick will be laying really even. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my ruler and I'm measuring all of my marks and just tracing and copying that mark all the way around on all 4 corners of the box, so I'll know where to place all of my craft sticks. Now, I've transferred all of the marks all the way around the box, and everything is good to go. So now we can start adding the craft sticks. Now, to make sure I get the right size of the craft stick, I'm just going to lay it on the box. I am just going to trace the two edges of the craft stick and trim it off. Now, after you trim it off the first time, you definitely want to check to make sure that it fits. And if there's any overage, you could just trim off any little excess that may be on your craft stick to make sure you get the best fit. Then just add your hot glue to the back of that stick and then place it and line it up with the markings you made on your box. Now we're going to continue this all the way down the box, just making sure you trace those ends and cut them off just like we did before, and then gluing them into place. And you just want to make sure you don't get too close to the edge with the glue because you don't want it oozing out of the sides. Now here is one of the sides fully covered with the sticks, and now what we want to do is we're going to I actually drew lines on here to help me with my placement, but this is totally optional, but I just connected the dots there. So what I did is I used those lines to make the craft sticks on the opposite sides, and now I'm going to do the other two sides with the craft sticks. And now I've put all 4 of the sides of the craft sticks on, and this is what one of your boxes will look like. Now you could follow up with your stain to stain all of the cut edges when you get all of your boxes covered. So the next box, which is the medium-sized box, we are only going to be putting 3 craft sticks on here, and we're going to be marking and spacing them just like we did before. And for the smallest box, we are going to do 2 craft sticks, making sure one of those craft sticks covers the seam where we glued our top on. And here are all 3 of the boxes with all of the craft sticks in place, and I think they look awesome. And now we can decorate. So here we have it. I've added some greenery bunches that I got from IKEA, and I placed them on display. I love how they turned out. Now I really love the combination of the black with the wood, and it really gives these gift boxes such a high-end look. Now these boxes are really thick, so they can hold up well with the paint and other techniques that I use to customize them. Now you can keep them grouped together, or you can rearrange them separately however you wish. Now you all definitely have to let me know what you think about this project in the comments below. Now this project is a modern tray and wood stand. We're going to need some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. We're also going to need a large gift box lid from the Dollar Tree, and I had some left over from some previous projects. Now as you can see, these boxes are really thick and sturdy. I have a 32-ounce full can of paint here, and you can see this box lid is holding it up without a problem, so I'm going to be using this as a tray. Now what I'm going to do is I am actually going to take this out, and I'm going to prime it on both sides with my Zinsser 123. And then once it dries, here it is after 30 minutes. And now we can go ahead and put our final coat on, and I'm going to be using some satin black spray paint by Krylon. Now I'm going to put about 2 coats on both sides. Now while that dries, we're going to work on our stand, and I have some pre-stained tumbling tower blocks already, and these were stained with early American stain. So I'm grabbing my carpenter square and a little piece of parchment paper so I'll be able to move my design around. So what I'm going to do is start putting my blocks together. Now you definitely want to use wood glue for this project. This stand needs to support a tray, so we're going to actually definitely use the wood glue, and I'm using the wood glue from Dollar Tree, which works great. So I'm going to glue 4 blocks together side by side as shown here, and to squeeze them together tightly and allow them to dry. Now you want to complete 4 of these 4 block sets. Now the next set of blocks we're going to be joining together are some 5 block sets. So I'm gathering up 5 blocks side by side, just like we did with the 4 block set, and we will be gluing these together side by side with that wood glue as well. And here are all 5 block sets ready to go. Now the next and final wood block set we're going to join together, we're going to join together 4 sets of 4 block sets stacked up as shown here. Now this will work as the legs, so you definitely want to use the wood glue for these as well. And we're going to make 4 of those sets. So here's one all glued together. I've let it sit for about 10 minutes. This is what it looks like. And now you just want to complete a total of 4. And here they all are ready to go. And you want to allow all your sets to dry. Now once everything is nice and dry and can be handled, we can put our tray together. So we're taking 2 of the 4 block sets on the sides, and then we're going to put all 3 of the 5 block sets in between them and sandwich them in. You want to make sure they're all spaced evenly. Now you want to join these together at each one of the connections with wood glue. And here it is after 10 minutes, almost ready and set. Now the next set of blocks, we're going to lay down 2 of the 4 block sets, and then we're going to grab those double stack sets and place one upright on each one of the corners for the legs. Now to show you how I did this, I just propped one of the 4 block sets on its side and then add the 2 legs as shown here. You're going to adhere these together with wood glue as well, and here are the 2 U-shaped leg pieces. So once the frame part is complete, we can add our legs at each corner as shown here. And now all you have to do is secure these with wood glue and let them sit for a few hours and make sure they are nice and solid. So here is our stand after about 2 hours, and it's pretty solid, but you definitely want to let it cure, but it's solid enough we could craft with. Now if you like, you could go ahead and take some of those stained craft sticks and lay them across the top if you want a wood finish top, and that's totally an option. But since I made a tray, I'm going to use my tray, and here it is complete with those 2 coats of that satin spray paint, and the tray looks great. Now you just go ahead and grab your stand here, and then we're just going to sit our tray right on top. And as you can see, it looks really cute together. I just love how this looks right on top, and plus you can remove the tray if you want to carry any items that are on top of it. So now it's time to decorate, and here I flipped the tray over and I put a couple of decorative pieces on there, and these are just a couple of items that I got from the Dollar Tree that I spray painted black to kind of go with my masculine theme. Now if you flip that tray lid over, it can be a beverage station. So I used tea for my little display here, and this would be just the perfect little beverage area for the corner of the room, and I did add those items there. I just think that this has so much beauty and masculinity in it, and it'd be perfect for your guys' little relaxation space. Now let me know what you think about this project in the comments below. Now this project is a set of modern glass vases. Now I'm going to use 2 of these ombre glass vases, and these were from the Dollar Tree. Now what we're going to do is clean these up really good with rubbing alcohol, and if you want to, go ahead and remove any labeling from the bottom and clean those up as well. Now once they are all nice and clean, I'm going to take them out and give them a couple of coats of satin black spray paint by Krylon. So while those are out there drying, I am going to cut 2 pieces of this faux leather ribbon. Now I did cut this from a piece left over of this faux leather fabric that I had on hand, but the Dollar Tree does sell faux leather ribbon, so if you happen to find it, you can use it as well. Now this is a 1/2 inch wide cut. Now I'm also going to be using some tacks, and I'm going to be using the heads of the tacks. So I just put some in a little piece of foam wrapped with paper, and I put about 20 in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually paint these with some black acrylic paint. Now I'm just going to start off just dabbing it on the tops of the tacks, just making sure I get really good coverage. Now you want that to sit to completely dry, and then we're going to go in with a second coat, just making sure that all of that gold color is nice and covered. Now once that dries, we got to seal everything in. So I'm going to be using some of my matte Mod Podge. Now they do have smaller sizes in the Dollar Tree that you can buy. You don't have to use like the mega size that I have here. So all I'm going to do is take some of that Mod Podge and then I'm just going to brush it on the top of each one of those tack heads, just making sure you seal all of that paint color in. And you want to allow this to dry until it gets to a nice matte sheen as shown here. Now here are the vases after they've dried for about an hour and they look amazing. I just love how this paint looks on these little vases. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the ribbon strips and I'm going to grab the tack nail head. So what I'm going to do first of all is take the ribbon strips and I want to cut them down to size, just making sure the ends overlap maybe about 1/4 of an inch for each one of those jars. And then to prepare the tacks, you want to have a pair of wire clippers. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of the tacks and I'm just going to cut off the little pin side of it. You could do this inside of a zippy bag or something like that just to make sure the pieces don't fly all over the place. But you just want to cut off all of the heads of all of those tacks. So now we can go ahead and start applying that ribbon around the vases. So I'm just going to apply it around, and then the portion that the ribbon overlaps itself, you're just going to add a dot of hot glue. You don't really want to add hot glue to the actual vase itself, so that way your ribbon can be removable in case you want to change up your look. So now we can start adding our tack heads. So I'm just going to start adding one, and you notice this vase has these little lines in it. So I'm just going to actually follow that pattern, and for every other line, I'm going to place one of those tack heads right over there and just apply it with a dot of hot glue. And here is one with all of those tack heads in place. I love how this looks. And now you just complete this for your second vase. And here are both of my vases all decked out with their faux leather trim and a nail head design. And now all you have to do is to fill these with whatever kind of decor you like. And here you have it, you guys. I just added my greenery and placed them on display. Now what I put in here was some boxwood, but these would definitely look great with some pampas grass or other neutral colors as well. Now I think this finish is absolutely beautiful on these, and I really hope that you give this DIY a try. It is really easy, but turns out so high-end looking. Now this project is a set of modern candle stands. Now for this project, we're going to be needing some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. So I am again going to be using my early American stained tumbling blocks that I have already prepared for the project. So grab your carpenter square, and we first want to grab up 10 blocks with 2 sets of 5, one on top of the other as shown here to make this platform. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making 4 of these 10 block sets. Now you can use a wood glue for this, or you can use a wood hot glue for this, but of course I'll always recommend you use a wood glue for the longest, most hardy and strongest bond. I'm using my wood hot glue just to save some time, but this will work for a project. So I'm just going to start joining my wood block pieces together, just adding a line of glue on each side. Now the process is the same whether you use wood glue or wood hot glue. So I'm grabbing 2 of those block pieces that are joined together, and now I'm going to join them right down to center to make a completed platform. Now when you join these 2 together, just press them firmly in place and wipe away any hot glue that may ooze out of that seam. And now you have one completed platform, and just repeat this until you have a total of 4. Now for the next set of blocks, we are going to use the natural unstained blocks for this part. So we're just going to, first of all, we're going to grab 8 blocks, 2 sets of 4, one on top of the other, because we will be stacking these as shown here. Now we're going to make a total of 5 of these, and we're going to join these together with your wood glue or wood hot glue, whatever you choose. Just join them side by side to make those 2 sets of 4. Now once you have your 2 sets of 4, we're just going to stack them on top of each other, add your glue in between them, a generous amount, and then squeeze the stack together. Now you do want to make sure you rotate and make sure you squeeze together because you want this to be completely even. Now we're going to repeat this until you have a total of 5. Now the next set of blocks with the natural blocks we are going to join together is a total of 4 stacked together as shown here. Now we're going to make a total of 7 of these. So we're going to join a set of 2 blocks together. And once you have 2 sets joined together, we are going to stack these right on top of each other, just like we did for our 8 block sets, to kind of make a little cube. So we can just squeeze that together and make sure you squeeze and rotate to make sure all the sides are even. Now you want to repeat this until you have 7. Now that all the pieces are nice and glued together, we can start organizing and assembling our candle stands. So we're going to rotate the pieces, always starting with that 4 block set, and we're going to put 3 4 block sets and 3 8 block sets on the first one, and then we're going to put 4 4 block sets and 3 8 block sets on the second one as shown here. So we're going to start joining everything together, and for this, you definitely want to use your wood glue. Wood glue is the strongest bond, and since this will be supporting some weight, definitely use your wood glue. So put a generous amount in there, and you want to carefully center each portion in the center of each one in the stack. Now we're going to repeat this all the way up for the short candlestick, and this is what it looks like after sitting for about 10 minutes. You just want to handle it very carefully and just make sure everything is nice and even. So we're going to repeat this for the taller one, and here are both of them assembled, and you want to allow them to dry. Now once they are completely dry, we can start to paint them. So I am going to be painting these black. So I'm going to be using some of this black acrylic paint. Now I'm going to sit my tops and bottoms over to the side. Now I'm just going to apply 1 coat of this black acrylic paint all over it. You definitely only need 1 coat because this coverage of this apple barrel black really covers well. Now when you paint this, you don't want to paint the top or the bottom edge because this will be bonded to the platforms, and here they are all painted, and you want to allow them to sit and completely dry. So once they're nice and dry, we can start the next step of adding the platforms. Now again, when you do add the platforms, you want to make sure it's nice and centered in the middle. Now to bond these, you definitely want to use your wood glue as well. Wood glue is the strongest glue, and you want to make sure you apply a generous amount of that. And when you apply it, just lay it down and center it, and you definitely want to push and hold for about a couple minutes just to make sure that that bond is starting to secure. Now once that bottom one is in, you can put the top one in and then repeat for both of them. Now this is them sitting for about 20 minutes. You want to allow them to completely and thoroughly dry before decorating them. Now once they do dry, you can go in and you can actually touch up any raw edges with that stain as well, so everything blends in. And here's everything blended and ready to go, and now all you have to do is to decorate your beautiful pieces. And oh my goodness, you guys, here are the candle stands, and I really love the styling of these. Now what I did is I placed a couple of smoky wine glasses on top with battery votives inside, and these were all from the Dollar Tree as well. Now you guys, I had so much fun creating these projects today, and I hope that you guys and gals love my take on this modern masculine style of decor. Now as always, I love them all, but let me know in the comments which one was your favorite today. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now, if you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It's absolutely free. Thank you so much for watching. watching, and I will see you all next time.